Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. As you may have guessed, this is a mixed media video. I took a class from Dina Wakley. If you're not familiar with Dina or her amazing products, you should definitely be checking her out. Even if you're a card maker, she has stencils and stuff that you might like for inking. All sorts of things. She is mixed media and acrylic paints and stencils and making great messes, but her products could be used in a lot of different ways too. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to tell you about the class that I took from Dina and show you what I made and show you some of her new products. I think they're new. It was called Ethereal figures or abstract figures, and she provided us a set of these chipboard figures, and we used them like stamps. She also gave us a sheet of these, and we cut them out and used them with like stencils. We played with gel plates. Dina wasn't using a roller at all on the gel plates. She was just using brushes and Stabilo pencils and other things, and we had a great time. If you ever get a chance to take a class from her, do it. Jump in, even if you're a little bit scared, you're not really a mixed media person, or you don't feel like you can draw people or faces. I took a faces class from her before, and it was great too. She has such a welcoming style and doesn't worry about anything. She's never going to look over your shoulder and say, oh, you didn't do that right. And it's very interactive. You watch her for a few minutes, and then she gets you excited to try something, and then you go back to your table and work. We did all sorts of things, and I can't remember the sequence. What I can tell you was this was her first time teaching this class because it's post-COVID. She was on the road. She was at Runaway Art Studio here in Salem, Oregon, and she did a great job. Like, she doesn't need to teach a class all year long to get warmed up. It was great. One of the things we did was we talked about carrot people. And I guess in watercolors, people do a lot of like carrot people where you just, I don't have a brush, but you take your brush and you just go whoop, and then you give them a dot, and that's your person. And so we experimented, and I had never done these before. I was a little terrified. Clearly that guy has something wrong with him. But I had a really great time, and we talked about how close the head should be or how it looks if it's farther away, and just all sorts of different things. We had a great time with that. Then we played, I forgot to bring my art journal, and I absolutely did not want to buy one because I already have, I'm looking at my pile, a couple of Dina's that I need to fill up. So I don't have any finished pages to show you, but many people made amazing pages, and she talks to you about how to finish it off and blend it in and putting words. There were some giveaways in the class. She gave us one of her stencils. You got to pick out of the basket which one you wanted, and then you got to pick a postcard out of her basket. Well, obviously, I picked the yellow and blue one. Then this is one of her products that I hadn't seen before, and I will look these up and link in the description because I know what the whole package looked like for you. It's typed on old ledger paper. She has a whole bunch of different fonts for her typewriter. So she typed these up. Some of them there's typos in, and she laughs about it. And in the package, there's different colored papers, and there's all different fonts. And when you see it in a store, you can't tell that. Until we opened it up and started digging through it, I didn't know. And there's a ton in there. So she shared a bunch of those with us. And then tissue paper. She makes these wonderful tissue papers with her patterns on them and her art, and then you can tear them up and use them in your projects. This has inspired me to use archival ink and do a similar thing before, but I still love to use hers, even if I make my own. We did gel prints and played with deli paper and did abstract figures on deli paper. I was playing with a stencil. Well, first we made a bunch of backgrounds, and then we went back and put the abstract people on them. So some of them I didn't want to put a person on, like this one, because I put all the leaves right in the middle. I didn't want to put a great big person on. So maybe I'll stamp it and do something else, and it'll be a tag in a journal down the road. We played with Stabilo pencils. I didn't know they came in so many colors. I have black and blue, but I also picked up a green, partly because I didn't have one with me and I wanted to play with one, but also green is great for spring, right? I really like this one. I did like a reverse stencil with it, and so you have the messy gel print, and then I sprayed around it. The table was covered with her products and you just got to play. And then I traced it with my paint pen. Same kind of idea here, except the reverse. Instead of showing more of the background, I covered up the background and then traced around it. I like this one too. And I don't know if it shows, but it's like grungy textury. I really like that one. Then some of them, I just left them because I wanted to play with them later. This one I tore because I was playing with how would I put it on a page. This one is not very attractive, but I'm sure it could be salvaged in some way. If all else fails, tear it up and use it for collage. Ooh, look at this one. This one, if I was going to put a person or something, I would want it right here and not want to cover all this up. And what we did was we prepped the gel plate, and then you write on your gel plate with your Stabilo pencil and then do a print off of it. We did tons of different printing off of our gel plates. Same kind of thing here. Look at that. I mean, you can tell it's supposed to be a person. I feel kind of proud of that. This one, of course, was like from hers, the stencils or stamping them out, but still, I like that one. That one's kind of crazy and fun. I had a great time. You'll notice there's a lot of color in my projects. I did not use royal blue in any of the background making because I know me and I knew that I would want to use that for my focal point. So that allowed me to come in and have my people be bright and wild because they weren't fighting a royal blue background. Does that make sense? I've heard before, I can't remember if it was Dina, but somebody said, trade gel prints with your friends because they will use colors you wouldn't use. So I tried to be my own friend. I tried to make things out of colors that I wouldn't normally use. And I was playing with the sprays. And the other thing that came up in class, and we were like, oh, of course. Okay, we don't clean things. Dina doesn't clean things. That's not how you get good prints. You want all that muck and gunk. But what we were talking about in class was if you had your background on here, or if you had taken your pencil and drawn leaves or that kind of thing, you could put your person or whatever you were going to trace underneath it, position it right where you want, and then see if you didn't have too much paint, right? Or you could do it first. So you're essentially taking a paintbrush and you can trace this outline onto here and then print it onto something. So that was cool. You don't really have to fussy cut it out. But if you fussy cut it and you save your outline like this, then you can use sprays or paints too. So there's all sorts of, are you printing? Are you getting your negative or your positive? I saved all of these because they will be fun. This is black with blue spray on it. This one is like gunky and black, and then it ripped off a little, and then I sprayed it with cheddar. That's one of her colors. This one's wonderful blue. So you can see, we just played and played. Here at the very end, I was worn out. Like, it was so much information and so much goodness, and I hadn't been sleeping well because it was the week of Zeus's surgery. She started showing us, I can't think of what it's called, but a dark to light technique, and then the background would be the opposite, dark to light up here. So I was playing with that a little, and then I got sidetracked. I like this one too. All kinds of squishy and messy. So that was my Dina class. It was a long class. I think it was 10 to 5, and it was really good. There was not dead time. I was not bored. I did break my no-buy because I picked this up, and I picked this up, and I picked this up, and probably other, and the new Tim color of Lost Shadow, and I probably picked something else up too that I've put away by now. So I did make some purchases in February, but January I didn't make any. I didn't really plan it. It just started to happen, and then it picked up momentum. if you have mixed media stuff, get it out and play. Dina does Facebook videos. She has videos where you can join and then see them. She has some on YouTube, and there's all sorts of mixed media goodness. And you can dig through your house and find stuff. Any acrylic paint, it doesn't have to be Dina's. The possibilities are endless. So have a great time. The only thing I will say is I don't recommend putting crayons in your glue gun. I tried that once, had nothing to do with Dina, but I wouldn't recommend that one. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.